All right, sixth graders, we're on 7.3, multiplying mixed numbers. So a mixed number, whoop, wait a minute, let me turn my board on. We are on page, for those of you who do use your book, even though everybody's supposed to, we're on page 354. Okay, a mixed number is a number that has a whole number and a fraction, like 3 2/3. So it has a whole number and a fraction. Okay, an improper fraction is when the numerator is, that's OR, is bigger than the denominator. So an example would be like 9/8. That would be an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. All right, so we're going to do example 1, multiplying with mixed numbers. Now, if you remember back in 7.2, the rule is you cannot multiply unless the numbers are fractions. Well, 5/8 is a fraction because it's got a numerator and a denominator only. Okay, but 1 2/3 is not a fraction, it is a mixed number. So you need to make that into an improper fraction before you multiply. And that's that little half circle thing that I call it half circle. You multiply, then you add. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, and it would be 5/3. So now we have top times top, bottom times bottom. You should always look to cancel first. 3 and 5 do not have a common factor. 5 and 8 do not have a common factor, so we just multiply our numerators and get 25, multiply our denominators and get 24. And that's an improper fraction. 24 goes into 25 1 and 1/24. Okay, now both of these are, if you look at example 1, neither one of them are fractions. So we need to do the half circle here. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3, that'd be 7/4, which you remember we did this back in chapter 6. To make a whole number a fraction, you just put a 1 under it. So that would be 3/1. You see if you can cancel anything, and here we get 21/4, top times top, bottom times bottom. 4 goes into 21, let's see, 6, 5 times, which would be 20, so 5 and 1/4. So both of them multiply, reduce. So right here again, we can't multiply until these are fractions, so we need to make them improper fractions. So we're going to multiply 9 times 2, 18, 19, so we get 20/9. Here we get 24/5. Now those numbers are big, we don't want to have to multiply those, but look, 20 and 5, they're diagonal from each other. They have a common factor of 5. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 20 4 times. How about 9 and 24? It's a little tricky, but guess what? 3 can go into both of those. So it's kind of like reducing them. 3 goes into 9 3 times, 3 goes into 24 8 times. So we look across, we can't cancel straight across right here. So we're done. So 8 times 4 is 32, and 3 times 1 is 3. 3 goes into 32 10 times with 2/3 left over. 10 makes 30, and it's 2 more, 10 and 2/3. Okay, so example number 3, it says Olympic trampoliners. I didn't know that was a sport. Olympic trampolining? How cool. Olympic trampoliners get points deducted from their scores if they land outside the rectangle called the jump zone. The jump zone measures 7 1/21 feet by 3.5 feet. What is the area of the jumping zone? So it's rectangular right here. So it's 7, area of a rectangle is length times width. So we multiply those. We cannot multiply them in this form, so we have to take 21, I don't know what 21 times 7 is. 147 plus 1 would be 148 over 21. times 6, 7 over 2. 7 and 21 can cancel. 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 21 3 times. 2 and 148, 2 goes into 2 once. Half of 148, 148 divided by 2 is 7, which is 14, 8, 74. So top times 74 times 1 is 74. 3 times 1 is 3. I can't leave it that way. Goes in there twice. 14 goes in there 4 times, which is 12. 2 left over. 24 and 2/3. And it would be square feet since it's area. Length times width. Improper fractions. Canceled them out just like I did. There we go. So the guided practice. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Excuse me. The guided practice. We can't multiply. Here it comes again. Gosh. We can't multiply unless they are in fraction form. So check this out. 2 and 1/3. We do the half circle. 6 7/3 times 5/6. That's going to be, you can't cancel anything, so 35 over 18. 18 times 2 is 36, so it'll only go in there once with 17/18 left over. And if you can't do that in your head, you just write out that division like this. 1, and then you subtract, and there's where the 17 comes from. Let me get rid of some stuff here. So I got to make 5 a fraction. Let's put them over here, which is going to be 5 over 1. Half circle, that'd be 10. That'd be 12 over 5. Ooh, and look, my 5s can cancel. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 5 once. 12 over 1, which is just 12. That's it. You just have to remember that you cannot multiply these until you make these improper fractions. So that's going to be 10 over 3 times 9 over 4, and you can cancel. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times, 2 goes into 4 twice, 2 goes into 10 5 times, so I'm getting 15 over 2, which is 7 and 1/2. There's lots of steps. It's just a matter of, you kind of need to know your facts pretty well. That's going to be 13 over 4 half circle times 13 over 5. 12, yeah. Can't cancel anything, darn 13s. 13 times 13 is 169 over 20. 20 goes into 169 8 times, which is 160, and there'd be 9 20ths left over. Crafts. Jordan makes a banner 5 1/3 feet by 11 1/4 feet. What's the area? So 5 1/3 times 11 1/4. Half circle, 16 over 3. 44, 45 over 4. Oh, look how nice those cancel. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 16 4 times. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 45 15 times. That'll be 60 square feet. Or feet squared. You can write it that way also. All right, so the key to remember on these is that you cannot multiply until you get them in fraction form. If it's a mixed number, you have to make it an improper fraction. If it's a whole number, you put a 1 under it. If it's already a fraction, you don't do anything to it. All right? So show your work, and then don't forget also to cancel if you can before you multiply. It just makes it easier. See you later.